Hey guys, check out this beautiful park I'm in. So, my voice is probably going to be kind of soft in this one, and I'll try to block the wind from the mic for you guys. I should have brought my little clip-on microphone because then I could be really soft and not worry about projecting. But I'm having an interesting experience right now that I'm actually excited to share with you. So I'm in Montreal, Canada. So I flew over this morning. It's Friday morning. I think it's like noon now. And the Airbnb is going to let me check in early, about 2 hours early, but I still got to wait a couple hours for that. So I'm just chilling in this park, barefoot. Just probably going to chill here till I can go to the Airbnb. And then I have a one session with a client, and then it'll be, Friday evening. I'll try to generally unplug from the social media, from the devices and whatnot, and kind of stay on my routines here. And that's actually kind of the main thing I want to share in this episode that's been bubbling up during this trip is I'm learning to not abandon my practices and not abandon my life just because I'm going traveling somewhere. So I feel like when I used to travel, I would just think oh, okay, it's time to throw all my practices out the window. And I would eat super unhealthy and forget about all my routines and just forget about everything. And I'm not judging myself at all because I was just super young and that's just how I did it. And it is kind of bright actually. But it is hitting a point where it's like I'm valuing that centeredness kind of above everything else. So it's like, no, let me stick with my meditation practice. And I have been on a streak of waking up at 5 to 6 in the morning, so it wasn't that extreme to wake up for my flight this morning. I think I left my house at 6:30 or 6:15 or something. But I woke up, I did a meditation. It was a short one. It was only 5 minutes because I kind of had to get going, but I stuck with that. I also wrote my daily Substack letter at the airport because I wanted to stay on that creative expression practice. These are my foundational practices, guys. It's the meditation, it's the way that I eat, it's the consistency of self-expression. These things are my anchors, and what I'm learning on this trip is that I can bring them with me even if I'm traveling. And what I'm practicing now here is bringing the weekly podcast expression with me too, and I'm feeling, I'm in a new place, feeling nervous about it, feeling shy in a public park. But I'm kind of wanting to prove to myself that I can do this. So that's really the purpose of me recording this one, is to stay with this particular practice of creative expression. So it's really cool, and I'm feeling really proud of myself. I did the daily letter this morning despite the travel. I did my meditation. I posted a walking and talking video on Instagram kind of right when I got into downtown. And now I'm recording the podcast. This one is surprising me, actually. I thought I was going to just skip the podcast, but it's actually wanting to flow out as I'm sitting in this park here, and it feels very good. I'm getting this feeling that I've been expressing through all my mediums today. I'm getting this feeling that I'm learning to bring home with me. I'm learning that home is somewhere that lives in my heart center, and it doesn't matter if I'm in New York City in an apartment that I've been living in for the past 2 years, or moving to a different apartment. It doesn't matter if I'm in Montreal or another city or I'm traveling, I'm learning that this home that lives here in my heart center, it comes with me wherever I go. So, and I'm learning to stay rooted to that and remembering and feeling into that connection through the practices, these foundational practices that I've really learned to integrate into my life and stay consistent with. So this is very beautiful. This is very beautiful what I'm experiencing, guys, and I'm happy to share it with you. I do feel my little bit of a raspy, shy voice, and I think that's totally okay. Like, what I'm learning is that the important part is the expression. It is the doing the thing. Like, no matter how shaky your voice is when it comes out, it's that you do the expression. And this is good training for me because something I'm nervous about as I'm going into my next apartment move here on June 1st, that's all happening. I've been writing about that a lot on my Substack letter, is I'm nervous about not being alone in an apartment anymore. So I'll have my own room. But in the past, when I lived with roommates, and this is not quite roommates, but it is, I will be sharing walls with people in a more communal, creative artist living space. But I've really struggled in the past, kind of the same sensation I'm experiencing now of recording this video here, just like the subtle awareness that people might be able to hear my voice, even if it's just a little bit, and hear this vulnerable expression and maybe see what I'm doing. There's something vulnerable about that. So I've struggled in the past with opening up on video, verbally out loud, when I think that maybe people can hear me through the walls. So that's a challenge that I'm anticipating, I may have to face in the next living situation. But I think it's cool progress, what I'm practicing here. Again, there's no one in my immediate vicinity, but there's still this internal feeling of discomfort, that's coming up as I'm recording in this video. I feel my throat's a little blocked here. But also there's something nice about just talking quietly too. It's like just accepting this environment and accepting this moment and like, this is what it is type of energy. So one more thing regarding these foundational practices that I'm talking about. So eating and what I'm consuming is a big part of these foundational practices. So food being one part of it, also content, but also food. And I realized at the airport this morning that historically, anytime I've been traveling at an airport, I would just take it as an excuse to eat fast food. And I would also buy a bag of candy to eat throughout the plane ride. And now I'm just so attuned to my body that like, okay, if I'm gonna be on a plane, it's kind of a uncomfortable experience. Why would I put stuff into my body that's gonna make me feel 10 times worse? And so I did have a little egg and cheese croissant from Dunkin' Donuts this morning, but I noticed the energy was much different than when I used to travel. I would just take it as an excuse to stuff my face. The flight was a short flight, but it was so much more pleasant. I actually just sat there, no music, no nothing, and I just kind of let my mind spiral out, which is what I like to do on my really long weekend detoxes when I turn my phone off and don't talk to anybody. I've been really missing that because there's been so much action and worldly involvement this summer, but it was nice to get a taste of that on the plane, just sitting there and being with my mind. So that was nice, and it felt so nice to have a relatively empty system. I'm still caffeine free. It's been over 2 weeks now, I believe. So yeah, my relationship with traveling is really evolving, and I think the main thing is this attunement to my foundational practices and this feeling that home is wherever I go. I mean, come on, guys. If I'm able to record the podcast here, like, I'm home. This is my home, you know. If I can express myself online and stay in touch with my community and do this spiritual work and this creative expression work that I'm more passionate than anything about, hosting my client session later on my little laptop, you know, as part of the Walden year, there's no more desktop computer, there's no more heavy cameras. I could have brought my little clip-on mic for this episode, but we got the phone right here. If I'm able to do all this stuff, guys, I'm home, you know, I'm home. So that's a really beautiful progress I'm noticing on this journey. Really tremendously beautiful. And what I'm experiencing now is making me feel really confident about that. Yes, when I do move apartments in June, I'll also bring home with me. It's not dependent on the specific apartment, like I said. It's not dependent on who my neighbors are. So I'm here on a little entrepreneur meetup. A lot of people doing kind of similar work. This morning I wasn't sure I wanted to come. That energy is more in the letter I wrote this morning. But another thing I'm learning on this creative expression journey, and I kind of want to sit up here. Something I'm learning on this creative expression journey that's really, really cool is I've come to a realization and embraced and accepted the fact that what's in my mind stream is just constantly evolving, So I have to honor what wants to come out in each letter, in each episode, and I just have to let that be. And I have to accept the fact that my mind stream is going to evolve, my mind is going to change, potentially even a matter of minutes or hours later. That's why it's become really important for me to express more spontaneously in the moment without going back and editing and overthinking. Because in this flow, I'm allowed to get the truth out. And then, okay, my mind changes about something. I just get to share that increased insight and increased awareness in the very next expression, right? So I'm learning to let go of the need to know, let go of the need to be perfect, and allow this whole thing to be this evolving upward spiral. And the reason that popped into my mind just now is because this morning I wasn't sure if I wanted to go on this trip, and now that I'm here, I'm feeling really excited and aligned. So this is a meetup with a bunch of entrepreneurs doing similar work as me. A lot of freedom of expression work, a lot of inner healing work, and a lot of consciousness expansion work is how I've been framing it. And something that I'm realizing as I get into this work, which I really call spiritual growth and creative freedom, is how I've been calling it. But honestly, I prefer to not try to name it. It's more enjoyable for me to just do the work without trying to explain what it is. That's why I like my community calls on Patreon and my one-on-one calls with clients so much, because once we're in that environment, we just do the expansion work. It just happens by being there in the moments. So it's very hard to describe what this is. But what I'm seeing is that this similar kind of expansive work, inner growth work, creative expression work, it can look many different ways. So it can look like music. It can look like teaching music, teaching people how to express themselves through music and open themselves and drop the perfectionism there. It can manifest by helping people with their content creation on different social media platforms. That's kind of one thing that I help with. It can also manifest as helping people develop their business. Because the thing is, whether it's music, content creation, writing, business, building a business, relationships, whatever realm it is that we're working on and focusing on in our lives, what happens is we meet an edge, and then growth happens at that edge. So it can manifest in music, content creation, writing, relationships, business, self-growth, inner growth, meditation practice. We can evolve our entire, like, what I'm trying to say is it can sound like someone's business is music coaching, but what it actually is, what I'm starting to see is it's freedom coaching. We're all seeking liberation. So then I see the commonality with this group that I'm meeting up with. I see an effort to liberate humans from their limiting beliefs, and embrace and express them true selves in a variety of forms. And then what happens as more and more people open in that way and come to these realizations themselves is they then go on to inspire their communities and their people in whatever form it looks like for them. So we're all kind of bending and refracting this divine light and this divine realization of authenticity and freedom, and we are connecting to that within and then learning in our own unique ways how to bring it out there into the world. And then this particular group is very focused on the business side of that and turning that into a business and etc. And I've had some tension there. Which I don't need to get too into here, but I've had some tension on focusing too much on the business side. I think I'm susceptible to getting lost in that. But I do see how business can be a tool for human awakening as well. So, and I say that I get lost in the business side, but at the end of the day, I do have a business, with the Patreon and the one-on-one, but I think I still have some inner workings to do around that word and the connotations with that word. Still have some unravelings there. It's been a long, long, long journey. So I feel like I just opened up something there that I'm not gonna explore more fully, although I could, because there's a lot of learning still happening there. But the main thing I wanted to get across in this video, and we'll see how this weekend goes, and I'll share it all with you, and it'll be cool. I'm sure I'll experience many openings. My perspective going into this weekend is stay open and see why God brought me here. So I intend to find out, and I have no attachment to what that reason is. I'm just open to finding out, open and receptive, and I trust that He will show me exactly what I need from being here. I trust that I'm here for a reason. Yeah, I really love you guys. Yeah, I'm really proud of myself for doing this episode. I think I'm going to leave it here because I think I feel myself internally getting close to the point of like pushing past what was the natural and spontaneous outburst. So I'll leave it here and tell you guys I love you very, very much. Community and one-on-one offerings, all the information is in that link in the description if you're interested. And I'll keep you posted on everything. Lots of love. See you soon. Bye.